My name is Tyler James Morrison. I'm 14 years old, and on October 18th, 2023, I died for 17 minutes after my heart stopped during what doctors called a freak allergic reaction. I lived in a small town outside Denver with my mom, dad, and little sister Emma. Normal kid stuff, you know. I played basketball for my middle school team, loved video games, and helped my dad work on cars in our garage on weekends. I wasn't the kind of kid who thought about death or heaven or any of that heavy stuff. I just wanted to make the varsity team next year. That morning started like any other. Mom made pancakes, Emma was being annoying, stealing my bacon, Dad was reading something on his phone about some new rocket launch. I remember thinking how cool it would be to work for SpaceX someday. I grabbed my backpack and headed to school, not knowing it would be the last normal moment of my life. During lunch, I bit into what I thought was a regular peanut butter cookie, but something was wrong. My throat started closing up. I couldn't breathe. The cafeteria started spinning, and I hit the floor hard. Everything went black. Then the strangest thing happened. I wasn't in my body anymore. I was floating above the chaos, watching the school nurse doing CPR on this kid who looked like me. Kids were screaming. Teachers were running around. The ambulance sirens were getting louder. But I felt this weird peace, like I was wrapped in the warmest blanket you could imagine. Suddenly, I wasn't in the cafeteria anymore. I was standing in this place that looked like a field of golden grass, but the grass seemed to glow from the inside. The sky wasn't blue or cloudy. It was like looking at pure light that didn't hurt your eyes. And the silence, it wasn't empty silence. It was full of love. That's when I saw him. Jesus was walking toward me, but not like in the pictures at church. He was tall, maybe 6 feet, with dark hair and kind eyes that seemed to see right through me. But it was his smile that got me. It was like every good memory I'd ever had rolled into one feeling. When he spoke, his voice sounded like my dad's voice and my grandfather's voice and every person who'd ever loved me, all at once. "Tyler," he said, and I started crying without knowing why. "I've been waiting to meet you." I didn't know what to say. I felt like a little kid again. "Am I dead?" I asked. "Your body is resting," he said, "but you're more alive now than you've ever been." He reached out and touched my shoulder, and I felt this warmth spread through me like drinking hot chocolate after playing in the snow. All my fears, all my worries about school and friends and whether I was good enough, it all just melted away. "I have something important to show you," Jesus said. "Something the world needs to understand." The golden field around us changed. Suddenly we were standing above the earth, but not like in space. We could see everything happening at once. Cities, countries, people going about their lives. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. "Do you see the man there?" Jesus pointed, and my eyes were drawn to this figure I recognized immediately. It was Elon Musk, but he looked different. Older, maybe. He was standing in what looked like a massive control room with screens everywhere. "I know him," I said. "He's the guy who makes rockets and cars." Jesus nodded, but his expression grew serious. "Tyler, I need you to listen carefully. This man will soon announce something that will change everything. He believes he's helping humanity, but he doesn't understand the spiritual battle he's about to unleash." I watched as the scene below us shifted. Elon was speaking to a room full of people, holding up something that looked like a small computer chip. Jesus continued, "He's going to offer humanity a way to connect their minds directly to machines. He calls it helping people, making them smarter, curing diseases. But what he doesn't see is what's really behind this technology." The room around Elon suddenly filled with dark shadows, things that weren't quite human but weren't animals either. They whispered in his ear, and he nodded as if he could hear them. "Those are demons," Jesus said quietly. "They've been planning this for decades. They want to convince people to willingly open their minds to something that will separate them from me forever. I felt sick watching it, but he seems like a good guy. He wants to help people get to Mars and save the planet. Many people with good intentions become tools in the enemy's hands, Jesus said. Elon truly believes he's saving humanity, but pride has blinded him to the spiritual reality. He thinks technology can solve what only I can heal. The scene changed again. Now I could see millions of people lined up at clinics and hospitals, eager to get these brain chips. They looked excited, like they were getting the newest iPhone. Once they accept the chip, Jesus explained, their thoughts won't be completely their own anymore. The enemy will have a direct path into their minds. They'll still think they're making their own choices, but their ability to hear my voice, to feel conviction about sin, to experience true repentance, it will all be clouded. I watched in horror as people with the chips began to change. Their eyes looked different, empty. They moved through life like robots, efficient and productive, but something essential was missing. It's not the mark of the beast, Jesus clarified, seeing my confusion. That comes later, but this is preparation. The enemy is conditioning people to accept the idea that merging with technology is normal, even desirable. Each step makes the next one easier to accept. What about the people who don't get the chip? I asked. Jesus showed me another scene. People who refused the technology were being treated like they were stupid or dangerous. They couldn't get jobs, couldn't access certain services, couldn't participate fully in society. My true followers will face pressure like never before, he said. They'll be called outdated, fearful, holding back human progress, but they'll be the ones still connected to me, still able to hear my voice clearly. I saw small groups of Christians meeting in secret, praying together, reading their Bibles by candlelight when the power was cut to their homes. But here's what the enemy doesn't understand, Jesus said, and his voice filled with power that made the air around us vibrate. Every trial only makes my church stronger. Every persecution only purifies my people. And I will never, ever abandon those who stay faithful to me. The scene shifted one more time. I saw the same groups of persecuted Christians, but now they were glowing with the same kind of light I'd seen in Jesus. They were healing the sick, speaking to people in languages they'd never learned, and performing miracles that made the brain chips look like toys. Those who reject the false promise of technological salvation will experience my power in ways the modern church has never seen, Jesus said. I'm preparing a remnant who will demonstrate my love and power to a world that's forgotten what real supernatural looks like. I was overwhelmed. Why are you showing me this? I'm just a kid. Jesus knelt down to my level, even though we were floating above the earth. Tyler, young people like you will be the hardest hit by this deception. The technology will be marketed to your generation as fun, as the next step in human evolution. Gaming, social media, virtual reality, it will all seem like harmless entertainment at first. He placed both hands on my shoulders. I'm sending you back because I need someone your age to warn other young people. Adults will try to explain the spiritual dangers, but they won't be believed. It has to come from someone who understands your world. But who's going to believe me? I asked. I'm nobody special. Moses thought he was nobody special. David was just a shepherd boy. Mary was a teenage girl in a small town. Jesus smiled. I specialize in using ordinary people to do extraordinary things. The golden field began to fade around us. I could feel myself being pulled away from this perfect place, and panic set in. I don't want to go back, I said, tears streaming down my face. It's so peaceful here, and down there, everything's going to be so hard. Jesus pulled me into a hug that felt like being wrapped in pure love. I know, son, but your family needs you, your friends need you. And there are young people who will only listen to the warning if it comes from someone like you. What if I mess up? What if I forget what you showed me? I'll be with you every step of the way, he promised. When you pray, when you read my word, when you're scared or confused, I'll remind you of this moment. And Tyler? Yeah? Tell them that the answer isn't to fear technology or hide from the world. The answer is to stay so close to me that they can discern what's from me and what's from the enemy. I want them to be wise as serpents, but innocent as doves. The light around us grew brighter, and I could feel my spirit being pulled back down toward earth. One last thing, Jesus called out as I began to fade from that place. Tell them I love Elon Musk. Tell them to pray for him, not hate him. He's been deceived, but he's not beyond my reach. If enough people pray with genuine love, I can still open his eyes before it's too late. The next thing I knew, I was gasping for air in a hospital bed. Machines were beeping and my mom was crying over me. My chest felt like someone had been jumping on it, which I guess they had been. Tyler, Mom screamed. Oh, thank God, doctor, he's awake. A doctor rushed in, shining lights in my eyes and checking my pulse. This is remarkable, he kept saying. He was clinically dead for 17 minutes. There should be brain damage. This doesn't make medical sense. But I wasn't thinking about medical sense. I was thinking about everything Jesus had shown me, and I was terrified that people would think I was crazy. The first few days were rough. I kept having nightmares about those dark shadows whispering to people, convincing them to give up their souls for the promise of being smarter or living longer. But I also remembered the light, the love, the absolute certainty that Jesus was real and that he had a plan. When I finally told my parents what had happened, Dad was skeptical at first, but Mom believed me immediately. She said I was different, more serious, but also more peaceful. She was right. The things that used to worry me, like fitting in or being popular, didn't seem important anymore. 3 months later, Elon Musk announced Neuralink's first commercial brain chip trials. When I saw the news, I got chills. It was exactly what Jesus had shown me. The same control room, the same excited crowd, even the same words about helping humanity evolve. I started a TikTok account to share what Jesus had shown me. Most of the comments were people calling me crazy or saying I was trying to get famous. But some young people started reaching out privately, saying they'd had dreams or feelings that something big and spiritual was about to happen. That's when I knew Jesus had been right. My generation would be the target, but we'd also be the ones to warn each other. I want you to know I'm not asking you to believe me because I'm special or because I want attention. I'm telling you this because a 14-year-old kid got to spend time with Jesus, and he gave me a message specifically for people watching videos like this. He wants you to know that the next few years are going to test your faith in ways your parents and grandparents never experienced. Technology is going to offer solutions to problems you didn't even know you had. It's going to promise to make you smarter, happier, more connected, more powerful. But before you say yes to anything that wants to merge with your mind or your body, pray about it. Really pray. Ask Jesus to show you what's behind the technology. Ask him to help you see with spiritual eyes, not just physical ones. And pray for Elon Musk. Pray for all the scientists and tech leaders who think they're saving humanity. They need Jesus just like we do, and many of them are being used without even knowing it. Most importantly, don't be afraid. Jesus is still in control. He's still more powerful than any technology, any demon, any plan the enemy has. Stay close to him, study his word, and trust that he'll give you wisdom when you need it. The battle for your generation's souls has already begun, but we're not fighting it alone. The same Jesus who died and rose again, who created the universe with his words, who loves you more than you can imagine, he's fighting for you. and He's already won. If you're watching this and you've never asked Jesus into your heart, don't wait. Not because the world is ending tomorrow, but because you were created to know Him, to love Him, and to be loved by Him. He's been waiting your whole life for you to say yes. My name is Tyler James Morrison. I'm 14 years old. I died and met Jesus, and He sent me back with a message for you. Don't trade your soul for anything the world offers. Nothing is worth losing your connection to the God who loves you. Nothing.